Hello and welcome to your practice. This practice is a 30-minute prenatal yoga class that is meant to lengthen and open the back of your legs, your hips, and your low back so that you can feel better in your body as you move through whatever trimester that you are in. Oftentimes there's discomfort in the pelvic area, the low back, and the hips. So that's where we will be spending some time today, really opening, moving, finding fluidity, and bringing more circulation to those parts of your body. So all you'll need today are blocks. If you have 2 blocks, great. If you only have 1, that's okay too. So however many blocks you have will work, 1 or 2 blocks. And then you'll need a blanket and a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, don't worry. We will just be using it in Savasana at the very end when we rest. So you can use a pillow. You'll just be placing it between the knees and the lower legs. So if you have a pillow in place of a bolster or even an extra blanket, that will be really nice. Okay, and we are going to begin in a comfortable seat. Now, your comfortable seat might look different than mine, so just choosing a position to sit in that works great for your body, where your body says, it can release, it can relax, and it can stay for a few moments. So it might be cross-legged, it might be extending the legs out, or butterfly. Really doesn't matter as long as it feels good. Place your hands in your lap, on your legs, in your lap, whatever works for you. Close your eyes. We're just going to take a moment to get grounded here. So root down through the sit bones, lift up through the heart, drop the shoulders down away from the ears, and then take a deep breath in. Open the mouth and let the breath out. Good, and take another deep breath in. And whatever is weighing on you at this time, whatever you're ready to let go, just let it go. And again, inhale. And let it go. Nice. And then we're going to take the next few breaths with the lips closed, in and out through the nose, and begin to make the breath audible, where you can really hear it, and where the breath is actually going to be louder than your thoughts. That's the intention here. The breath is louder than your thoughts. So take a few moments to find that. You're breathing in, breathing out through the nose. Make it an audible breath. And the way to get to that is to feel that the back of the throat is constricting. It's like you're making the sound ha as you exhale and as you inhale. Nice, and just feel how the body is beginning to soften and relax with this breath. And feel the shoulders dropping down. Everything is releasing. And then we're going to keep this softness about us. Just simply flutter the eyes open. So we want to keep this gentleness in our body as we move through our practice. So bring your fingertips to your shoulders. You're simply just going to draw the elbows towards each other. Circle them up, draw them back and down. Good. So any point during our practice where you feel tension creeping in, where you feel the body tightening, come back to your breath. Come back to that audible breath. Come back to an open mouth exhale. Let the tension go. Come back to feeling this softness and gentleness. Reverse the direction. So it's this softness, this gentleness that's going to allow for opening, that's going to allow for the space that needs to be created as you move through the rest of your pregnancy. And the opening, it's just so essential. Take the arms up towards the sky, interlace your hands, reach the palms up. Good. We're always in our pregnancy just looking for ways, how can we opening in the body, the hips, the belly, the mind, opening into this new space of being, right? Stretch over to the side, up and over to the other side. Sometimes when we're in a new experience and things are different and there's unknowns, our body and our mind begin to tighten and get anxious. And so that's where we find this opportunity to breathe and to find softness and to find gentleness, to come back to our breath, to come back to the present moment, to reach higher with the breath, and then release the hands down and let the body soften and ground you towards the earth. Nice. Take the right hand down to the floor, sweep the left arm up and over. Find a nice opening here. Right elbow can be softly bent. Neck is nice and long, so shoulders out of the ears. Stay grounded in that left seat. Take another breath in. Exhale completely. And then your next breath in is going to lift you up and over to the other side. Left hand down, right arm up and over. And here you're finding gentleness and softness in the shoulders, the elbows. Keeping an eye out for any place that is tightening, that's resisting. Use your breath and your awareness to soften and relax. Good. And then bring it on up. Okay. Nice. Let's switch the cross of our legs for these last few moments of sitting, if you're sitting cross-legged. Then you're going to take your left hand to your right leg, right hand back behind you. And inhale, lengthen upwards. As you exhale, the belly is going to so gently, it's like the belly just stays in its very natural big state right now. And it's just gently moving to the right. Now, if you feel like this is too much of a twist, you can take the left hand to the left leg, and that gives your belly a lot more space, so whatever you need to do. And this is not so much pulling to the right as it is just opening to the right, just creating space in the front of your body. Good. And then we'll switch to the other side. Left hand behind you. Right hand can go to the left leg if you feel like you've got space to do that and you want to do that, or right hand to the right leg. And again, it's not about yanking or pulling yourself to the left. It's about creating more space and about opening into the space around you. Good. Take a breath in and exhale. Bring it back to center. Now let's bring our soles of our feet together here. And this is going to look differently for each one of us. So if you find that when you're in this position that the legs just need some support, the inner thighs are feeling a bit tight, or it's too much in the back body, then take your blocks and place them on the outside of the legs. You can also sit up on your blanket to get a little bit more height there. So once you have your position set, you're just going to begin to circle around, and your heart and your belly are circling around the pelvis. So depending on where you are in your pregnancy, you might be able to make this a big movement, or it might be a rather small movement. It doesn't matter how big it is. We're going for how it feels. So just adjusting as you need to, feeling your way through this, and making this as good and as juicy of an experience as you can. Keeping that soft quality about you, keeping that opening key and right in front of you, that like desire to open even more. Good. And then reverse the direction. Another breath in and a deep breath out. Good. Let's do a few more circles. And as you move through these last few circles, can you be a little bit more fluid in the movement? A little bit more watery. One more circle. And then bring it to center here, holding on to the legs wherever your hands are, ankles, calves. And then lift up through the heart. Take a breath. Good. And then if you can, send the heart up a little bit more. Maybe the head tilts back if you want to feel an opening in the throat. Otherwise, chin is neutral. And then feel that the tailbone is sticking back towards the wall behind you. That feels like an arch in the low back, possibly. Keep that. And then as you exhale, tuck tailbone under, and as much as you can round forward around. So you're rounding the middle of your back towards the wall behind you now. And then rock on that pelvis once again. Pelvis or tailbone sticks back, heart lifts up, and then tuck tailbone under. So some gentle cat-cow movement here, rocking forward and back in the pelvis. Now again, depending on where you are in your pregnancy, this movement is going to look, feel, the mobility there is going to shift as your pregnancy, as you get later in your pregnancy. So you're just doing what you can, honoring your body where it is. Full deep breaths here. Good, and then inhale, come up through center. Nicely done. Let's move the blocks out of the way and we're going to shift to a tabletop. So take your time to get there. Make sure your blocks are at the top of your mat. And then come to a tabletop. We've had our legs bent for a little while, so let's extend the right leg back. Tuck the right toes under your feet. Your right foot is on the mat. The spine is long. Feel the shoulders moving away from the ears and the heart drawing forward between the arms. And then there's just this it's a very gentle, it's not forceful at all, this gentle lift of the belly away from the mat. Okay, just a feeling, just more of an awareness there more than anything. And then if you like, lift the right leg up and just begin to circle the right ankle. Just going in one direction for a few circles, few rounds, and then reverse the direction. Continue to feel really strong in the arms, strong and straight in the arms. The hands are pressing down and pressing the earth away. The fingers are spread wide. Nice. And then bring that right knee back down. Over to the left side, tuck toes under, reach into the ball of that left foot. Stretch through that calf. Take a deep breath in. The heart is extending forward. The gentlest lift in your belly. And then we'll lift the left leg up and circle the left ankle. Staying really strong in the left leg and nice and straight in the arms. So you're very steady. Reverse the direction of your circles. Good. All right, on your exhale, knee comes down into a tabletop, and then we're going to come into cat-cow. So lift the tailbone, lift the heart, very similar to what we did when we were seated. But now you most likely have a bit more range of motion. So do whatever feels right for you here, whatever allows more space into the body, whatever creates joy in your body right now, whatever deepens your relationship to your body, to your baby. You're moving in that way. And as you're moving now and throughout the rest of our practice, just keep asking yourself, does this feel good? Is this what I need? And adjust based on the answer that you get from your body. Now come into tabletop and just begin to circle the hips around. Kind of unwind any tension, any stress that might be in the low back, just letting it go. Reverse the direction. And feel free to make these circles big, small, good. And then as you take these next 3 breaths, just let the whole body get involved. Shoulders, ribs, the spine is circling around the hips. And you can let this get even a little bit bigger. So whatever feels right in your body. We're looking for fluidity, we're looking for ways of creating more space and opening. All of this practice here on your mat, doing this work now, is going to help you when it is time to bring your baby from the inside to the outside. All this work of relaxing, unwinding, opening, it's going to help with the birthing of your baby. Okay. Now coming back to a tabletop, you might need to adjust your pants like I just did. Tuck the toes under, draw your hips back and up. You're coming into a downward facing dog here. Now, once you come into your down dog, you want to give yourself lots of space. So take your feet as wide as your mat. You can even take your hands as wide as your mat, so that you have a nice big downward facing dog where you have lots of space, not just for the belly, but lots of space for movement in the body. And you can just feel out a little bit more what you need. So bend the knees, drop the heels, just move in a way that feels really right for you. Now, if you are experiencing discomfort down the outer legs, starting at the hips, if it's like a sciatic pain, you can even play with turning the toes in slightly to get more of that outer leg stretch. Good. And then we're going to make our way back down to a tabletop. Nice. And you're going to bring that right foot forward. Just sweep it forward any amount. Take your blocks either side of the right foot. If you're in first trimester, maybe even second trimester, you can hang there. But if in third trimester, if you're in your third trimester, blocks are on the inside of your right foot. And we're just going to sweep the pelvis forward and drop back. Like no big movements here that kind of take you out of comfort zone. We're just moving the pelvis forward and back. And as you do that, you'll notice that the right leg kind of goes into more of a straighter position. The toes of the right foot will probably naturally lift. So just allow that to happen. You're just going in and out, getting into the back of the right leg. And you're making this, of course, as big as you want it to be. And asking yourself, does this feel good? Is there anything else I could add to it that would make it even better? Let's do one more. Now bring it back into your lunge. Pause here. You can stay on the high level of your blocks. You can drop down to whatever level works for you. You're going to stay grounded in your right foot and just circle the hips around here. And here, this is just free form movement. You are just moving the hips around, looking for the empty spaces around you and moving the hips into those empty spaces. Exploring with the hips, exploring with the low back, exploring with your belly. Reverse the direction. Good. Take another deep breath in. Exhale. Nice. Okay, move the blocks out of the way. We're going to come back to downward facing dog. Take your time. Feel free to come to tabletop first and then downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale. Knees will come down to the mat. Let's go to the other side, left foot forward. Blocks beneath hands. You're on the high level if that works for you. Of course, you can drop down to a lower level. You have your blocks on either side or blocks on the inside of the foot, just depending on how much space you need today. And then pelvis is rocking forward and back. Toes on that left foot are lifting up, lengthening through this left leg as you send the hips back. And this is just a very gentle and rhythmic motion for the body. So you are getting into the hamstrings, but it's also just a really nice way to come into some rhythmic movement. It's very meditative for the body, for your mind, for your breath. Let's come back into our lunge. Adjust the height of the blocks as you need to, and then come into your hip circles. And just explore the space here. Reverse the direction. You're doing great. Stay with your breath. Keep tuning into your body, asking what it needs. Good. And then from here, we'll go back to downward facing dog. So blocks off to the side. You can go through a tabletop first, and then downward facing dog. Nice. And then take a deep breath in here. Exhale through the mouth. Take another breath. Exhale, knees down. Good. Wrists right underneath the shoulders. We're going to begin with the left leg. So the left leg is going to extend out to the side. We're going to have the left toes, not sure if you can see my foot all the way there, but the left toes are pointing straight ahead towards the direction of the top of your mat. You're going to bend this left knee, and you're going to come back to circles. But this time, that left inner leg is going to get a little bit more love, a little bit more attention. So you're just circling around. Left foot can stay grounded here. Yep. And you're just breathing and moving and just playing with it, having fun. Reverse the direction of your circles. Good. Do one more. And then keep the left leg straight. Extend the heart forward. Walk the hands back. Keep the spine nice and long and bring yourself all the way up. Now you're going to take your hands back behind you. Interlace your hands. Lift open through the heart. Good. So the point here is not to lock the elbows to get into this, but to think more about knuckles are reaching down, but the arm bones are also reaching back. So you have this motion of lengthening and drawing back. Heart is lifting up. Take a breath in. And then exhale, let it go. Left hand to the left leg. Right arm's going to lift up and over, stretching into that right side. Take a deep breath in here. and exhale. Good, bring it up. Take your hands down. We'll go right on over to the other side. Left knee in, right leg over to the right, toes pointing straight ahead and coming into your circles here. So bending that right knee and circling all around. Good, and then reverse the direction of your circles. Stay nice and long through the spine. Good, and then let's come back to center. Right leg is straight, heart is extending forward. Walk the hands back, stay nice and long in the spine as best as you can. Take your hands back behind you, and then lift open through the heart. So knuckles are down, arm bones draw back. Elbows don't need to be locked at all, they can stay bent. Arm bones back, lift up through the heart, take a breath. And then let it go as you breathe out. Right hand to the right leg, lift the left arm up and over, opening through that left side. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, hands down. Come back to a tabletop. Good. From here, we're going to make our way to the top of our mat. So you can just walk the feet forward. You can come through downward facing dog and walk the feet forward. You're going to come to a forward fold, and we're going to grab hold of our blocks. So when you come into this forward fold, you're going to come up onto your blocks. Knees can be bent here. We want to give lots of space for the belly, so feet are wide. And then we're extending the heart forward here and lifting the tailbone up towards the sky. So we're not going to press belly into thighs to do a forward fold. Instead, we're letting the belly have lots of space and bringing our heart forward and then lengthening through the back of the legs. So you're getting some nice opening in the back of the legs and some nice lengthening through the spine. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale. Good. Inhale. And this time as you exhale, you're going to turn your toes out. We're going to come down into a deep squat. Now, as you come down into this, you might go, oh, my body is just not into that. So you can take a block, one block, you can take 2 blocks and place them right underneath your seat. Whatever amount of support there is totally fine. Elbows to the inner knees, palms together. We're going to lift up through the heart, drop your sit bones down. So if you are in this squat position and your heels are lifted, I'm going to ask you to definitely bring something underneath your heels. If you're not on a block, I should say. If you are squatting and the heels are up, that's a lot of weight on the knees. So bring either a blanket underneath your heels or definitely bring a block underneath your seat. We want to stay grounded through the feet, grounded through the sit bones, and then you're finding length here in the heart. And take a deep breath in. And exhale. Feel free to close your eyes. We'll take one more breath here. And you're just visualizing the pelvis opening, the hips being free. One more cycle of breath. Creating space through your breath, through this moment of just being in this position, which is such a beautiful position to be in to really prepare your body for birth. So practice this one often if you can. Let's come back to our forward fold. So you're going to straighten the legs, grab hold of both blocks once again. Turn your toes forward. You're back to being on fingertips if you need to, or you can be on palms. The important thing is tailbone is lifting up, heart is extending forward, so the spine is nice and long. We're not rounding in the back at all, but staying nice and long through the spine. Let's take a deep breath in. And exhale. Bend your knees deeply. Take your hands to your hips. Push the floor away with your feet and legs and rise up to standing. Nicely done. So I'm going to turn towards you. You can stay where you are. You're going to come up with the arms, take a breath in, and then exhale, take your hands right down through the heart. So all we're going to do here is draw the weight into the left foot and bring the right foot up so we can do tree pose. So walk that right foot up as high as it will go today. And it will change from day to day, of course, and it will change throughout pregnancy. So whatever you're able to do today, great, right? And just know that it is meant to change just like your body's changing. So hands to your heart, lift up through the heart, and just take a moment to breathe and to be still, and ground down through the left leg. Really reach down through that left foot. Hands can remain at your heart. You can lift them up towards the sky if you like. Take another moment to breathe here. And exhale. Everything is steady. You are clear in this moment, feeling, being, and just allowing yourself this beautiful time of just being in your body, feeling grounded, feeling spacious. You fall out, you just get right back in. That's how it goes. Bring that right foot down. Take a moment to root down into both feet. Hands can remain at your heart, and just take a breath in, close the eyes, and exhale. Visualizing yourself being in tree on the other side. And then when you're ready, rooting down into the right foot, lifting the left foot to the inner right leg, and then you'll lift it up to however high works for you today on this side. We're going to hug the right hip in. You're going to push down through the right foot. You're finding that grounding, steady place. We always need that, something to steady us so the rest of us can open and be free. So right now your steady point is your gaze, and your rooted quality is that right leg rooting downward, grounding down. And through those 2 points, the gaze and your right leg grounding, you're feeling yourself steady, open, ready. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. When it comes time to birth the baby, this is something that will be so wonderful to have right there in your back of your mind, is what is grounding me? What is steadying me? Is it my partner's words? Is it a sign that I've made to put on the wall? Is it a candle? Having something to steady you, to remind you, and to ground you will allow you to open even more. Take a moment in mountain pose. Take a deep breath. And exhale. We're going to make our way back to our forward fold. So let's sweep the arms up. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, bring the hands down to your blocks. Once again, find that half lift position. Heart is extending forward, spine is long, legs are nice and open, tailbone is lifted. Take another breath. And then in your own time, your knees will bend. You can move the blocks out of the way, and you'll step back to a downward facing dog. Taking a pause here in downward facing dog with a breath. And then exhale, knees will come down wide, big toes together, and come into child's pose. So depending on where you are with pregnancy, child's pose may or may not feel comfortable in the way that you may have practiced it before. So you can always grab a block and place your head so you're not folding forward as much. You can simply just be upright with your hands holding your face or the top of your head. This will just give your belly more space so you're not leaning forward or folding forward as much. So whatever position works for you, just make sure your head is supported either by the ground, the block, or your hands. Take another breath here. Exhale all the breath out. Take one more. And then inhale to rise up. Now we're going to come to a seat for just a few moments. And if you like, grab hold of your blanket. Bring it underneath your seat. Extend the right leg out to the right, left foot to the right inner leg. And we're going to just do a nice swaying motion for the upper body. So right hand's going to come out to the right, left arm's going to come up and over. Good. And then you're just going to go from side to side. Nice. And then make sure your breath is moving with your body. So you're just inhaling and exhaling as you move in and out of the stretch. And you're moving at a rhythm that feels just right for you. Good. And then come up, take the arms up, take a full breath in here. Exhale, hands down through the heart. Nice. Let's switch sides. So right foot in, left leg out, and we're going to come back to swaying. So left hand down, right arm up and over. And just going back and forth. And as you stretch from side to side, just staying nice and open in the front of the body, open in the throat. And these side stretches are so nice for stretching the muscles all along the side body. As you get later in pregnancy, there's just feels like there's less and less space available for breath, for food, for moving. So these stretches are really helpful for creating a little bit more space. Good, and then bring it on up. Take a deep breath and exhale, hands to the heart. So we are going to set up now for Savasana. And we're going to do Savasana on our sides. So we're going to just take a nice rest. You can fold up your blanket so that it can be your pillow. And then if you have a bolster or if you have a blanket, that'll work, or even a couch cushion type of thing, that works. You're just going to place the bolster between the lower legs, and you want to make sure that the knee is on your bolster or pillow, whatever you're using, as well as the ankle and the foot. So the whole lower leg is being supported. And then you'll come down and rest. Just lowering your head down. Now, if you like, you can use your block and just let your arm be supported here as well. So that might be something that's comforting to you if you want to use your block to support your lower arm. But you'll just be on your side. Adjust the blanket, bolster, pillow that you're using until you feel nice and comfortable. And then let your eyes close. Take a breath in and a slow, steady breath out. And there's nothing more that you need to do here. Just rest and relax. And let your body take in all of those movements that you did. Let the body just take all that in. And it will remember all the opening that you created, all the space. It's committing all of it to memory in this moment. So just let go and enjoy this time of peace and quiet. Now please stay here for as long as you can. Just hit pause and just stay here. A good 5 minutes would be ideal. So just stay and breathe and let go. If you absolutely must rise, You can come up. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I wish you a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you so much. Namaste.